this is a game changer. This is so quick.
Mia is all about enhancing natural beauty.
You should be you better.
My husband never sees me naked now.
They interview like 70,000 women around the world.
I couldn't move for 6 weeks.
Reason for choosing Mia, the fact that no scars.
I had to apply to get the license for Mia.
I wanted to see myself in the mirror.
But that's the beauty of this. If they're fine, you can keep them to the grave.
Really? Oh my God.
Dr. Matteo Vigo is a leading plastic surgeon in Dubai with over 20 years of experience in breast augmentation and cosmetic surgeries.
He is also one of the first UAE licensed surgeons to perform Mia Femtech, a minimally invasive breast enhancement procedure that delivers natural results with minimal scarring in less than 15 minutes.
Dr. Matteo Vigo, where precision, expertise, and care come together to create life-changing transformations with natural, lasting results.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Beauty Talks by Dr. Matteo Vigo. Today we are exploring one more time the fantastic technology behind Mia Femtech with two fantastic guests, Kelly and Raffaella, which are two patients that recently has experienced the whole journey about Mia, and are here to share the stories and to give the insight and how they feel after this fantastic experience from them. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
It's great to be here.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a month, right, from the
Yeah, just
procedure
over a
itself?
month.
I think exactly a month.
Exactly a month.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm happy to, hear from you what is the feeling. So let's dive in immediately. So Kelly, I know you have a very busy lifestyle. You are everywhere. You have a lot of podcasts as well, and you are, a keynote speaker, a brand strategist. So how did you think that Mia could be the perfect fit for you?
Well, I think there's something first about having a natural or having a boob enhancement or a beauty enhancement. I never thought I would be that person. And I think for a number of reasons, do I think I needed it 3 or 4 years ago? No, I don't think I did. But we age. And then I think along with that, though, what had kind of put me off was the downtime. I run my own business. I really rely on the gym. I love it. So the thought of having to take 6 to 8 weeks out of doing something a little bit vain to go and have a beauty enhancement, no, that was not for me. So when we sat down on my podcast and you're like, hey, you can be back to it the next week, I was like, this seems too good to be true. And I remember going home and telling my husband, because it had crossed my mind that summer, and then we had the podcast, I think, in the December time. And I remember thinking, maybe I need it. And it was my husband that said, knowledge is power. Why don't you just go and speak to someone about it? Maybe you don't need it now, but maybe if you have it now, it will save it in time. And he said, just go and speak to someone. And then you mentioned it on that podcast, and I thought about it all Christmas, and then I think I booked a consultation in like the January, and I was like, right, okay, I'm going to go and find out about it. Did I think I was going to go ahead and do it 4 weeks later? No, but once you kind of talked me through that whole procedure, I was sold.
Good. Also for you, you never thought about doing anything about your breasts, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, we know each other. You know me and what I think and how I feel about myself. So I never really thought I would have done something like that. I don't know why. I don't know if it was a judgmental thing or if it was just that I never really needed it. There are so many things I didn't like about myself throughout my my life, but boobs was not one of them. I loved my boobs.
Yeah.
Until I lost weight. And then when I lost the weight that I have, which is about 20 kgs, I started noticing, okay, I'm happy with the fact that everything got smaller, but maybe my breast got a little bit too small. But yet, I never thought I would have actually done.
And also it's important too, because we know each other, how scared you were about the general anesthesia, the recovery period. You were absolutely terrified by that.
I don't love general anesthesia. I don't love waking up from anesthesia, and it always takes me a long time. So I wasn't thrilled knowing that that's part of the process. Yeah. But then I think it was over dinner once that you mentioned, but this is a game changer. This is so quick. You don't need anesthesia unless you want to. It's 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay, but I'm so busy these days and I have a lot of exhibitions coming up. I don't think I have time in between. And I think 3 weeks later, bam, I was in the surgery room. Like, what? How did this even happen? I didn't have time to.
So this is how much also I'm invested in Mia. I'm talking about Mia at dinner.
I know. I'm like, what are you trying to do? No, but I think you really saw the struggle of, okay, you think you finally achieved what you were looking for. You lost the weight. You look amazing. But there is something missing there, and you saw that in my...
Yes, exactly. I know you since 10 years,
I
so
know.
for sure I can read your mind.
So as you said, I was sold with the 15 minutes, no anesthesia, right back to work. Okay, nice.
So Kelly, once you learned about Mia, and over Christmas you said you were thinking about it, did you do any research? Did you look into that, or just waiting for me to come back and just to meet me to...
I think I looked online. I think what I realized, though, it's actually quite hard to find pictures online. And we spoke about it afterwards because of how social media sees that kind of thing. So I feel that there was less results online in terms of pictures. So I think what for me really bought into it was the way that you explained it. There was no, this is how it is. It wasn't like you should do it. It was like, this is what it is. And I was like, I'm not sure. And you're like, well, this is what it would look like. And then I think seeing some of the pictures that you showed me in the consultation in the January were like, okay, yeah, I'd quite like that. And I remember saying to you, my goal, and I didn't know that this was a possibility, but I said to you, I really just want to be able to take off my sports bra without padding and they stay the same. And you're like, yeah, that's possible. I'm like, that can't be possible. And when I did my little reveal in the gym, obviously I didn't take my bra off for social media, but I did my reveal. I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly, because always with padding, I was like, okay, with padding, I like my boobs. And then you take the bra off and you're like, no, I don't like this. So I wanted that same look, but obviously without the padding and the bra. And when I took that off, I'm like, oh my God, they still stay up. I love it.
So what was the day? So you did the same day. So we put you together.
That's how we met.
Exactly. You became friends.
Bonded over boobs.
Booby sisters. Yeah.
And how was your feeling, Raffaella? Because again, you were scared of the hospital anesthesia that morning.
That morning, first of all, you had me waking up so early. So that was already the first struggle of the day. I'm not a morning person. That morning, to be honest, it's a blur. Because of the nervousness. I got there and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Why am I here? No. But then the expectation.
You were alone because your husband was traveling for work.
I was completely alone. My husband was out of town. It wasn't so much of I'm going to be scared of having to take care of myself. It was just like, it went from we talk about it. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm going to do it to, okay, I'm here. I'm about to do it. But I trust you, I know you, and if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done it. If it wasn't with you, I wouldn't have done it.
You made a very nice video of you falling, into the sedation stage, saying to me, "It's just because it's you."
It wasn't because I was high. It was really what I thought.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it was very funny. And what was your feeling that morning when you are a very morning person because you wake up?
I'm happy. I'd already done 4 hours by the time.
Exactly.
I was like, because it was Eid. No, it was Ramadan. And the team messaged me like, we have to meet later. And I'm like, later? I'm already up. Because I had done a gym session in the morning.
Exactly.
And then had come to meet you. And I was quite excited. I think it was more other people asking me, so how do you feel? And I was like,
I don't know how I feel.
Yeah, I was excited. And then I suppose there was the element of I'm not quite sure what to expect. My goal is this look with my bra off, but I didn't know what that would really look like. But no, there was excitement for me. And the fact that knowing I would be home by lunchtime, it was, okay, this is going to be quick. And it really was. Yeah. My friend came and picked me up and she's like, I cannot believe that you're walking out of here and it's all done. And I think I was back at work on the Monday and there was a lady in the office and she had surgery, I don't know, like 5 or 10 years ago. And she was like, I couldn't move for 6 weeks. Yeah. And she's like, I cannot believe you only had on Friday? And I was like, yeah, I went to the gym this morning. I didn't work out. That first week back, I just walked. But she was like, I couldn't move for 6 weeks.
That's the beauty of this, the easiness of doing that and Mia is part of a big concept called Femtech, which is the technology at the service to women.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to find all the possibilities to help women in their daily life, because, you're not moms, but there are a lot of moms that have breastfed their kids, etc. They are business women like you are, and you are busy in doing all your jobs. People are scared of it, so they try to find the best solution for each single of these category of women and deliver a result which is stable, reliable, with the best technology for the implants, the best technology for the tools that we use to insert the implants. So that was really important. And what we try to achieve with Mia is the experience. It should not be the surgery. We don't call it a surgery, it's a procedure. Yeah. It's an experience that you go, you're welcome from a team. Of course, with you, we did a lot of photo shooting, so it was also like a cinematographic.
Yeah, that's the thing. It almost felt like, is it really going to happen? Are we just shooting? Because I think 2 months before, we did the commercial for one of your...
Yes.
And there, it wasn't still already. I didn't have any idea that I would have become
you don't know
one
that
of the
I
patients.
shot a reel with Raffaella, asking, because she's a friend of mine, said, can you come and be the actress for this? That she was taking the questionnaire for Mia. So she did this question, but we never thought that she was
Even there, we didn't think about, do you think I should do this? Would
And it
you
never crossed your mind at that point?
Never. So thinking back now, it must have been, written in the stars that I was supposed to do it, because, but even from looking at that quiz and seeing how the whole procedure starts from taking the quiz and trying to see if you are the right fit for it, it's a really well thought example of how to engage with your potential clients.
By the way, the quiz is my idea.
Wow. Okay.
Only Dr. Vigo has this quiz to...
Well, one more reason to come to you then, seriously.
Because I wanted to understand. A lot of women said, am I the right candidate for Mia or not? They don't know. I said, okay, let's create a questionnaire. Yeah. So I sent to all the women that are asking, for the patients are asking for this. I said, okay, this is the questionnaire. Take the questionnaire. You receive immediately 100%, 90% adaptability to the procedure itself. So you know when you come in. And also for me, very important, because when they walk into my door, I have already the result. I said, okay, this patient is 95% a good candidate. Perfect, I can talk. The patient is 60% a candidate because maybe they need a lift, maybe they need...
or their expectations are different.
Their expectations different. And so I said, okay, I'm not doing Mia, I'm not proposing Mia, and just move to other procedure, because, I still do other procedures, not Mia is my only practice. So.
But I also think you had said something to me, and I often find that with clients, is what's the one thing that commits them, or what's the one thing that makes them go, and there was lots of things throughout the conversations we had, but you had said this, that Mia is all about enhancing natural beauty, and if you decide that you don't like this and this is not for you, within 2 years we can take it out. And I was like, wow, they are that confident that I'm going to walk away liking this. That's that's a no-brainer. And we discussed this, and you were like, there's only one person that's done it, and they wanted to go bigger. And I was like, wow, okay. So I appreciated the honesty of going, no one's come back to me to change. It was like, yeah, someone has, because they wanted to go bigger. And then...
Which, by the way, they didn't do. This woman didn't go ahead with making them bigger because she didn't want scars on the breast. And I said, if I have a scar on the breast, the whole point was not to having a scar on the breast. She put a bigger implant for Mia, and she's happy now with that. I said, okay, I keep it like that. And she has a very good result.
Yeah,
so
actually, for me, there was also a big reason for choosing Mia, the fact that no scars. Because the thought of having scars, taking care of it, the drainage, the downtime after, not being a fan of hospitals and procedures in general, but when he said, no, it's, all it's going to take is a small incision under your armpit, which is not even going to be visible. Well, that changes things.
When I tell people or I show them, they're like, and where's the other one? No, wait. What? It went in there. Yeah. There, yeah. And then people get really fascinated going, well, how was it? And I'm like, you should watch my reel, because I have that great video of you showing, it looks like the little mini Dyson Hoover.
It's like you're shooting in.
And then they're like, oh, like fascinated. But I have had messages from, I don't know if you have as well, women all over the world that have messaged going, I've been scared. I've been nervous. I haven't liked the anesthetic. I even got one from one lady who messaged me and she said, my husband never sees me naked now. Whenever I come out of the shower, I always wear a towel. So what I've seen, this could change my life. And I think, for me, I just went on my social media and shared with the whole world I had a boob job. And for someone in business, because when we first talked about this and are you happy? I'm like, I'm not going to put on social media that I've had this done. But then when you look beyond me and the bigger purpose of inspiring other women, because you told me about it, I feel really lucky that I got to find out about it. But not everyone gets the opportunity.
Because Mia is still quite new.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We need to talk about this.
But you chatted about it over dinner. We chatted about it on a podcast. Not everyone's got a friend or a business friend that's a plastic surgeon. Yeah. So by us doing what we've done, the messages, like, honestly...
that's true. I didn't expect such an engagement from people you don't know. And they actually now sort of... not rely on you, but they find in you those daily normal answers that maybe they have no one else to ask to. Because
now, for example, also in social media communication, if I take an influencer and I do the job on an influencer, people don't believe them. Because they're paid. You pay them to do the filler, the Botox, and they come to your clinic. And if you see natural person that, you are a social media person, you do your social media for your own private life. So you're not engaging with the people. But you put your face and said, this is me. I did this, and this is how I feel. She did fantastic, day-to-day reels. She was sharing me, so we will editing.
Named them. I mean,
that was cool.
Raffaella. So that's. I think that was what caught the attention of people who were more down to earth, like similar to me, that want to learn more about it. They sort of engage with the fact that it's so easy that literally 2 hours later you can joke about it. You can go in front of a cell phone and just be like, yo.
I did it.
I've got one lady who's in the UK and she went to this doctor and she just messaged me the other day and said, I'm doing it. I booked it. So we had some correspondence beforehand about, how did you feel about wearing what do you call it? Like the belt, the
bandage.
The bandage, yeah. How long did you have to wear it? So we had a bit of back and forward on that. And then I said, just go and see the doctor. And then she messaged and was like, I've booked in. And I said, please keep me updated. And
we have great colleagues in UK doing this. So if she's doing it in UK, we have great colleagues that are fantastic. Also because the surgeons that have been selected to do Mia, they're not everybody. So Mia is not available to every surgeon. So the company wanted to deliver the results through experienced hands. So I had to apply to get the license for Mia, and I had to submit my casuistics, my logbook, said I've done this amount of surgery for breast, etc. And they can refuse to give the license to some surgeons.
Well, I'm not surprised because I think, I'm totally ignorant in your world, you're the expert, but if you want to go bigger or if you want to appear, it's kind of probably easier than what I've got about Mia is that they specialize also into maintaining your normal beauty, your natural beauty. So to be as precise as to give a woman a very natural, simple, enhancing, harmonized look, I don't think it's as easy as just, I want to have big implants. So I'm not surprised that they get to pick and choose their collaborators.
The company could have done a marketing strategy. So I give Mia to every surgeon and I sell tons of implants, but that's not their goal. So we want precision. We want delivering results which are stable and reliable. Yeah. So that's very important. So let's look into the procedure just for my followers. Just give a little bit of hints. How does it work? So Mia is a local anesthesia, can be done with some sedation. You both experience a little bit of sedation. Through the armpit, an incision of 2 centimeters. We create the space with the inflatable balloon. So we don't cut with a preservation tissue, which is very important because we don't cut anything in the breast. We don't use even the cauterization device because there is no bleeding. And then when we expand, we create the pocket, which is a simple gun that we were describing before. We just insert this little implant inside the breast. So the implants are very small, but the beauty of these implants has been designed only for Mia. This can be used only for Mia technique, is that they have diamond shape. So they are small, but because they have projection on both sides, and I show to the camera, so maybe they can see both sides of the implant have this projection. With a smaller implant, you can have still a very good result. So they achieve 25 to 35% more volume than a traditional implant.
Because I've been quite shocked when I've heard other people and they've said, oh, I had 350. And I'm like, 350? Wow, that's so much.
I had 170.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And I'm like, wow, but then that explains a little bit more.
Yes, exactly. It's designed to, again, keep your breast, preserve your breast, but give the result, because nobody wants to do any kind of procedure, walk out and say, I don't see anything. So we need to see something, and it's balanced. You have different sizes of breast before, different projection that I need to use for you, but to achieve the best and the perfect result that, we were both looking for. You were both, and I was looking for, of course.
But I think you were spot on what you said earlier about, Dr. Matteo has to have the eye and the experience to know what size. Because I remember when we came in and we did the reveal and you said this size was perfect for you. And I was like, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were chatting about that.
But this is 20 years of experience. Now with Mia is 1 year. I am the one who did the highest number in the Middle East. And I just discovered recently, I went to Italy to present Mia to because in Italy it's not yet available.
Okay.
So because I'm the only Italian plastic surgeon doing that around the world, so they invite me to speak in Italian to my colleagues. And I discovered I'm among the 5 top plastic surgeons, and I became a trainer for Mia now. Okay. Because in this year, I invested so much in learning the perfect technique and learning how to use Mia. Which case is okay, which case is not, which case is borderline. The patient wants, we can try explaining the kind of result that they can have. The patient is absolutely a no-go for Mia. So it's very important that this experience that I gained in breast surgery for over 20 years now is applied to Mia. And from one look at the patient, I immediately say, okay, yes, no, 170, 195, whatever is the thing, and it's very important. And we started also because we thought, these implants are very small. Also for us surgeons, we are not used to this volume. And we decided at the beginning, no, I just want to do only the big ones. So at the beginning, I was putting only the big ones. Now I'm going down. Yes, I saw a patient, and I will put like 120 for her. Wow. Which is minimal, but she's very skinny, doesn't have breasts, etc. She wants something very natural. I let her try the sizes. I said, no, 120 is perfect for me. So we are also going down that direction. So the 350, I don't put the 350 since ages. In general, the traditional breast augmentation, even before Mia, the trend is changing.
Yeah, I've seen that actually through social media where they're talking about it's smaller and pert.
Well, it's more probably precise for your size, for your body. It's harmonized, and I don't think maybe it was more like in the 90s where you needed the big contrast with boom.
Exactly.
Now it's all about
stand out of the crowd with Pamela Anderson.
I was just going to say Pamela Anderson has a lot to answer for.
But now she removed them, and now she's
on the red carpet with no makeup, and she's really
But
the
also,
other way.
if you look for example, in the beauty part for the face, a lot of people are removing their fillers. They're going natural. No more big lips. No more big cheeks. Everything is going down to something natural.
Well, I don't know.
I've always been sustaining the natural beauty.
Yes.
So my thing is natural beauty, something which fits your body. We still enhance your beauty. We still do a surgery. We still do everything we can do to enhance you, but not transform you.
Yeah.
You should be you better. That's
exactly.
it.
I'm all up for that.
It's very
Amen.
important. So we talk about the day of the procedure. You finish, you walk back home, and you were working in the afternoon, shooting your videos. You were as well out with friends in a few days.
Yeah, it was sort of surreal. I think the same day I made some content to share with you, and 2 friends came over for dinner, and they were like, seriously, like you're cooking? Yeah. Well, okay, maybe the sedation was still working a bit, but it was really surreal to see how 3 hours ago, I was laying on a hospital bed, and now everything is just back to business as usual. And 2 nights after, I went out for dinner, and it was really surreal. That's the only word I can use.
And did you feel any disruption in your working routine and working out routine also?
No, it was really quite seamless that I nearly felt, well, surely I shouldn't be doing this, rather than there was nothing on the guidelines, but we talked about it. Yeah, you can go back to the gym, just don't live above your head, you know, do some walking the first week. But nearly everyone else was like, you must take it easy. You must take it easy. And I'm like, no, Dr. Matteo says I'm fine. It doesn't say. And I said, and I feel fine. And I think that's the thing, that you've got to listen to your body as well. And
that's the best sentence I always tell my patient.
Fine.
Listen to your body. Your body will tell you when don't do this. When you go back to the gym, you know, if I can go and I lift 200 kilos, what do you say? Are you crazy? You cannot lift 200 kilos. But then I can increase to reach maybe one day to do that. So if you listen and you really respect your body, that's also very important. And again, is the technology behind Mia. You respect your body, you respect your tissue, preserve your tissue, and you don't disrupt anything. That's why it's so easy and the recovery is so fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
I did when I did my first push session in the gym, though. I forgot I was recording. And I was pushing light weights on the machine. And then I was like, oh, are they still there? It was like, I forgot. I was like, oh, you know, I was, and then my friend was like, what did you think was happening? I was like, well, maybe they moved. Yeah, exactly. And there's an actual little bit of the video where I'm like checking that they're still there.
I remember I messaged him and I said, can I remove everything and take a shower? Or do I have to keep the bandage on? Like, hello, why would you shower with something on? Of course, nothing is going to happen in the 10 minutes that you're under the shower.
What about the results? So, okay, we talk about the procedure itself, the recovery, which was very easy. Now, when you look at yourself in the mirror, do you think we achieved the result you wanted, Kelly?
Oh, I'm 100%. When that sports bra comes off and my padded bra, like I've got the result without. So it was kind of fun because last weekend I tried on clothes before and filmed.
Okay.
And then tried on clothes just this weekend, and I sent you some videos. And it's so funny because I keep saying to you, I keep wandering through to my husband and going, look at this dress, look at this outfit. And I'm like, I will get bored of it, but still now.
Like now I'm all in the excited.
Yeah, and it's like every outfit's like, and I don't need a bra with this, and this feels really good. So for me, like, I'm super happy. And
it was funny, we were discussing before entering the studio that I didn't tell them how to dress for today, and they came all very dressed.
Modest.
Exactly, modest.
But you can still see it. So
exactly, you can still see the result. But again, this is about not showing off. You did for yourself. You did a very powerful sentence that people were asking, why you don't need that? Why do I'm doing for myself.
Yeah.
And that's the reason. Also you, I think a lot of people told you don't.
Yeah. No, you don't need it.
You don't need it. Why?
Okay, sure, maybe, but what if I do? Because I think I do. And then I had the other side of people saying, well, once you've done it, why didn't you go bigger? Because that wouldn't be me. So for me, it was important to be able to reuse my bras, the ones that had become too big. Like, I don't want to keep buying bras, and that's exactly going back to your question. You know, the reveal in the beginning, it was, oh my God, what have I done? Because you go back from being flat to seeing something up there, and it
especially
feels
at
weird.
the beginning, you have the anesthesia, which will infiltrate a lot of anesthesia. So you have like double the volume inside. So they're very, big and swollen.
I think a little bit under there. When I came out, it was like it was giving me 2 for free. Here, I was like, what is going on with this? And I was like, oh my God, is that going to stay like this? And my husband was like, no, I'm sure it will go down. And I sent you a picture. I'm like, what is this? It's like, give it more than 2 hours, Kelly. And I think it's been fine.
For example, this morning, because I knew I was coming here after the shower, I really gave it a look, because I don't know if it's the same for you, but I haven't spent if they feel so normal and natural that I don't really spend time admiring myself on the mirror. It's just, I have them back. They look good. They're there. So this morning after the shower, since I was coming, I'm like, okay, let me take a look just in case I'm asked if there is anything that I notice more. And yes, what I do notice is that it's exactly as it should be. It's exactly how it used to be before my weight loss. So I don't see any change in that sense, which is exactly the result I wanted. I wanted to see myself in the mirror, and I definitely see it.
Yeah, and it's important also again the background you both coming, which is different. So you come from a weight loss journey, 20 kilos down the line, and never thought about having this because you liked your breasts before, but of course they're deflated. And we launched this new thing, which is the Ozempic breast, because we speak about the Ozempic face. You know, people are using these weight loss injections. They lose a lot of volume in the face and they age in the face.
Which I hope I haven't.
No, you didn't, absolutely. For the breasts, the good thing is that the breast deflates, but they don't sag.
Yeah.
So your breast will not sag, it will just deflate it. They lose the volume, but being in such a short period of time, they have the time to sag completely. And this gives me the possibility to really restore this volume in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we had, your friend who came before you to do the procedure, me, which has the same thing. So she lost weight. She was a perfect candidate. I'm using her, Raffaella, and this other patient as an example because it's very important. And also you, when you did your reel, you said 2 years ago I was
that happy? I was buying my wedding dress.
Exactly. Prepare for the dress, etc. I never thought that would be. So it's for me. Also, one comment that my colleagues do about me, I said, "Oh, but you cannibalize your breast augmentation patients because you will move them to Mia." I said, no, because these patients are different. Because I'm sure that if I would propose you both a breast augmentation, we say, no, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
The patient for Mia are completely different patients. And the company did a very big study before. They interview like 70,000 women around the world. And like 7 out of 10 are not happy with their breast. And on these 7, I think 80% are using compensatory behaviors. Padded bra, push-up bras, dress that covers because, etc. Yeah. And we are targeting these women.
Yeah. And as you said in the beginning, if you have a rush for whatever reason to go back to your regular life, maybe regular implants are not for you.
Exactly.
Because you don't have time, you don't have... So I think it's a great... let's call it alternative maybe to a regular implant.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I also love how Kelly is talking about this. Again, she's a superstar on social media, and she's also very, socially engaged in that. And you did the booby breakfast. How did you call it?
The booby breakfast. Yeah, I got my girlfriend round. So I think one of the biggest things, and you touched on that when we first said this, that people don't talk about it enough. And for me, that's probably been my biggest takeaway. I think from having a personal brand, authenticity actually means speaking about things that you're going through. Not this, oh, I'm an authentic person. It's like, no, what are you going through? What are the highs? What are the lows? And for me, getting my girlfriend round for breakfast was very on brand with me. I'm a breakfast person and not an evening person. And because I got boobies for breakfast. I think that was a bit of the ongoing joke that I was home by lunch, so I'd had my boobies for breakfast. But what was really nice was we sat all around, and interestingly, there was 5 of us there, 3 had surgery.
Yeah.
But not Mia. They were scarred, or it had been a long time ago, so there wasn't the technology that was available. And we talked about other things. And I think that's, for me, the biggest takeaway that I've loved is, the conversations of being open about this.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like you go out and kill anyone. You're just doing something for yourself. So I think if you find a way to talk about it for what it is and in the simplicity of it.
Yeah. Also nowadays, the taboo of plastic surgery has been overcome, because before, oh my God, you have a plastic, you have facelift, or you have a rhinoplasty, is something that really looks like an alien. Now, how many women have breast implant in any case. I mean, women have done something for the face.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the reasons why I also accepted to, sure, let's make videos, let's talk about it, because people will chat behind my back anyway. So I might as well be the first one to say it, you know? Why not?
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
and it's very important also. I'm trying to do a lot of, information about this because I want to, again, inform the people that they have an option.
Yeah.
Because most of the women, they don't know that this is an option.
Oh, yeah.
And they can go down this line with short recovery, go back to, as we said at the beginning, most of them are moms, most of them are businesswomen, most of them, they don't have the time, If I think myself, if I have to do a surgery for myself with my busy life, I will not have the time. I don't do boobs, thanks a lot, but I will not have the time to do any kind of procedure. I need to plan it like 6 months in advance. So
Yeah.
if for something that I want to do and I have the 15 minutes procedure with no downtime, I would go for that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been the same with you and your friends, but me talking with my friends, not many know about this new way, quick way.
Agreed.
So I think it was also like, really? Oh my God. So the fact that it's so quick and that it has almost close to zero downtime, I think that is really the catchy reason for having people.
But also a lot of women are really scared of the general anesthesia, which I know you are, of course, but I want always to reassure patients when I do a lot of other procedures in general anesthesia, if you have a good anesthesiologist, is not that difficult, not that risky, so don't be so afraid. But I understand if you can do in sedation, or I did this procedure, pure local anesthesia. Patients were talking to me while I was inserting the implant, and they came out and said, I cannot believe, I'm scared to do the local anesthesia in the dentist, and I did my breast in local anesthesia. But that's the beauty of this, because it's so well studied and structured. They took 10 years to develop the perfect tool, the perfect system.
You can tell that it's not an improvised.
Exactly. No, the company really invested a lot of research in this. They broke so many implants at the beginning because they were not passing through the gun. They found the perfect implant, the perfect elasticity, and the perfect way to lubricate the funnel to go inside. So that is how you achieve the perfect situation. And then you think about the future of the women. So if we don't cut any breast tissue, that's why we can remove them in 2 years without any problem, because it's just creating a volume and then you deflate, like it happened with you with the weight loss.
Yeah.
So you had the breast, you deflate, of course you will lose some volume, but it will not be saggy, it will not be damaged, okay?
Yeah.
Because we don't cut any tissue. And that's the beauty of the possibility and the Women Choice program that they create. Plus implants, of course, a warranty for life, for the rupture, for the capsular contracture, etc. They did the study, and the rate of complication is basically zero on all the list of the possible complications you can have with the breast surgery.
That's the question I've got probably the most.
Yes.
Is when do you need to replace them?
Yes.
That is a question that I love to answer my patient, because a lot of colleagues in general for breast augmentation, they said in 10 years you need to replace them. That's not true. It's a device that can stay forever in your body. What will happen is your breast will age. And this is with or without the procedure, with the Mia, with any kind of breast augmentation, your breast will change. Maybe you have kids, maybe you age, maybe you gain weight or lose weight. So there will be a change in your breast. And I cannot assure that the beautiful result you have today can be there in 10 years, because your body will change.
Exactly. Nothing stays
like
regardless.
your face will not be the same, your legs will not be the same.
My face won't look like this in 10 years?
If you still keep coming to me, maybe.
Well, that's the slippery slope. I did message Dr. Matteo going,
Yeah.
well, I said, wow, what else have you got that's 15 minutes and can make me feel this fabulous?
Put it on my
We
list.
have a lot of things coming up with the companies developing also a lot of other things in 15 minutes. I cannot talk about them now, but stay tuned.
Well, sign me up.
Exactly. Where's the dotted line? Sorry, I just want to say it, but I did say that.
My husband is it's like, when did you start being so into all this aesthetic things? Since it got easier. I mean,
As they blame me then, since I met Matteo.
It's okay, I'll save you.
No, what I was saying is that they don't have to be changed, because they are the highest quality of medical silicone we have available right now. They're very flexible, they're very durable, they have a warranty for life. But also, I say, there's a piece of plastic at the end of the day. High quality plastic, but it's a piece of plastic. And of course, if I rub on a piece of plastic for 10 years, just walking, you rub on the implant, they can be damaged. So at 10 years, you need to check them. Go and get the ultrasound, like you do in any case for breast cancer awareness, you do it. But check them. If you check and they are fine, why do you have to change them? You know, if you're happy with the aesthetic result, most of the time when I change the implant right now, the implant itself is fine. It's just the patient's not happy with the aesthetic result. So I need to enhance again, putting smaller, bigger, lifting, whatever is needed. But there is no need to change. So you can answer, if they're fine, you can keep them to the grave. I always say that's a very strong, powerful sentence. Bring it to the grave.
Once we melt,
Exactly.
there's only going to have the two.
The rib cage and the two implants.
They were not natural after all.
We had a funny, but I thought it was quite funny communication, because I stood on the scale, it was like a few days later, and I was like, I wonder how much my new boobs weigh. And then it was so simple, and you message, you're like 340, 170, 170. And I was like, okay, so in theory I've gained, well, I'd gained a lot more with the water and all of that,
course,
everything afterwards. But it was like, yeah, you've gained 340, because that's how much.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that's why he's the doctor, right?
Okay. Now, I think, we covered all the topics about these fantastic technologies. If you want to give a message to the women that contacted you or the women that don't know about this, what would you say to the audience?
Go and ask all the questions that are stopping you from doing this, because I think through the answers, you will just not have any more reasons not to do it. If it's really something you want to do, for whatever reason, aesthetics or, mostly I think it's aesthetics, you're not happy with yourself, but ask the questions that are preventing you from doing it, because it is easy. There is really no reason not to do it.
Yeah, and on from that, exactly the same. My husband had said, go and ask the questions. But I would say then, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
And from that, both of us, from when we first spoke, it was within, 3 weeks? I probably would have done it earlier had I not been going on the girls' holiday. And, the same with you. It was like, you'd known each other how many years, but when you went and asked the questions, and from that, you're like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't I do this earlier? But then you go back, you didn't need it earlier. But honestly,
I
the
think
best thing.
things happen for a reason, and they happen when they're supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So,
And also what is important, again, the company did a study about the timeline of decision for traditional breast augmentation is 7.3 years. So from the first moment a woman think I can do a breast augmentation to the moment they do, the average is 7.3 years.
Oh, wow.
For me, it's 2.5 months.
We were a bit below that. No, weren't we? I'm like, we were like 3 weeks, 4 weeks or something. But actually, in theory, that would be right. From December, when we first had the consultation, and I remember messaging my husband saying, oh, wow, I think this is the answer. So that would be December, January, and it was like, the beginning of March?
yeah, true.
The average is 2.5 months.
Night was the
for you,
night
it was even less. Yes.
Wow.
So that's why it's so powerful. The message around it's very important, because it's empowering women in be themselves just better. That's the whole thing,
Exactly.
And you have to feel confident in yourself. Why this? You talk about in this, in your work, about being confident, being yourself, build your brand. Your brand is also your beauty that shows into a picture, into a way you speak. And if you're confident with yourself, this shows and, transute from your way of talking. This is very important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The booby glow up.
Well, yeah.
Maybe that's what we could
We should
rename
clone
it.
a new word for it.
I need to find, the best way to describe it. But
Because I think that's the whole thing, it is the booby glow up, but it's the confidence of going, I just feel more me. I feel younger. I feel more in shape, whatever it is. But yeah, the post booby glow up.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Makes perfect sense.
Take over the world.
No, I mean, it's not like we have to push people to do it, but it's just, a statement towards those people that
Absolutely.
are overthinking about it, or they are pushing back because of whatever reason. Just do it. I mean, it's so easy. And now you don't even have the excuse of, it's going to take so much of my time and it's going to hurt. No.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even
I'm
talk
sorry.
about that.
Now
but
you have to do it.
Zero pain. That was the other. We haven't even mentioned that. But like zero pain.
Yes.
That I think that goes back to one of the things that, how did you feel afterwards? I feel like other people were telling me, oh, don't do this and don't do that. And I was like,
because they think you are in pain.
But I don't have pain. Yeah. Oh, well, you shouldn't lift this. Well, no, I'm okay.
My only discomfort was having to sleep for 2 weeks on my back, which I never do. But I mean, that's the
part
least
of the
you
game,
can do.
yes.
Exactly. But other than that, zero.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right away, I was joking with my friends. Well, they're not mine anymore, so you can even poppy. So yeah,
great,
perfect.
Thank you so much. It's
Welcome.
been a real pleasure to have you
Thank
as
you.
patients, friends and business partner in some way. We are cooperating as well, and it's a journey that I recommend to all the patients to at least explore, because it can really make a big change in your life with a minimal downtime and with the less risk for any other procedure. So it's very, very, very safe and very important. For all my listeners, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you here. If you like the episode, please subscribe to my channel, put a like, and stay tuned because more and more podcasts are coming on the way. See you soon. Because you deserve the best.